Burger King has become the punchline of American fast food. Sticky tables, broken ice cream machines. That one location near you that looks like it hasn't been touched since 2004. Over the past few years, 3 of their biggest franchisees went bankrupt. Hundreds of stores closed, and they got sued because the Whopper was allegedly 35% smaller than the one in the picture. But something weird is happening. In 2026, Burger King is outgrowing McDonald's. Same-store sales are up 5.8% in the US. Traffic is rising. Their president went viral. And the stock, still going nowhere. So how bad is Burger King really? Because the answer isn't what the memes say, it's actually stranger than that. To understand Burger King, you have to understand that Burger King barely sells burgers. Of the roughly 6,650 Burger Kings in the US, only about 1,100 are owned by the company. The rest belong to franchisees, small business owners who pay royalties, pay into the ad fund, pay rent, and take on all the risk. Burger King's parent company, Restaurant Brands International, mostly collects a cut, which is a fantastic business, as long as the franchisees survive. They didn't. 2023 was the year the whole thing cracked. 3 major operators declared bankruptcy in a single year. Tom is King, Meridian, EYM Group. Hundreds of restaurants went up for sale or just shut off the lights. That year alone, Burger King lost a net 264 US locations. Why? Because the math had stopped working. Burger King's average location does about $1.63 million in sales a year. Sounds like a lot. But McDonald's does around $4 million, Chick-fil-A does $8.5 million, while closed on Sundays. Same rent, same labor laws, same beef prices, less than half the revenue. And then beef prices rose about 20% in a single year. Store-level profit fell roughly $25,000 per restaurant, down to around $180,000. For an operator running 50 stores on borrowed money, that's the difference between fine and finished. And here's the part that makes it worse. Royalties come off the top line. They're a percentage of sales, not profit. So an operator can be losing money on every single burger, and head office still gets paid, in full, every month. Right up until the doors close for good. Which is why so many of those bankruptcy filings read the exact same way. Sales sliding. Cost climbing. A balance sheet stuffed with debt from expanding during the good years. One filing described restaurants that had been losing money for 2 straight fiscal years before the operator finally gave up. Meanwhile, the buildings were falling apart. For years, Burger King's owners had prioritized margins over maintenance. Squeeze costs, refranchise, keep the royalties flowing. It worked beautifully on a spreadsheet. It looked awful in real life. Then it got worse. In 2022, 19 customers across 13 states sued Burger King. The claim: the Whopper in the ads wasn't the Whopper you got. Plaintiffs alleged the advertised burgers were around 35% larger, with more than double the meat of the real thing. Burger King's defense was, honestly, kind of amazing. They argued that every burger is made by hand, so of course they look different. In court filings, the company acknowledged that its photographers had styled sandwiches more beautifully than restaurant employees do. Their lawyers also argued that reasonable customers know menu photos are meant to look appetizing. Which is true! Nobody expects a perfect burger. The judge wasn't convinced. In May 2025, U.S. District Judge Roy Altman ruled the case could proceed, saying the claims go beyond mere exaggeration or puffery. He specifically flagged ads made after 2017, where the Whopper appeared to grow while the actual patties didn't. Burger King denies everything. And in November 2025, they got a win. The judge declined to certify a nationwide class, saying the consumer protection laws across those states were too different. But the case is still crawling forward in 2026. Here's the part that matters more than the lawsuit itself. Millions of people saw the side-by-side images. The plump, glossy ad burger next to the sad, flattened real one. It confirmed exactly what everyone already suspected about Burger King. That's a brand problem no legal team can fix. So in 2022, RBI brought in Patrick Doyle, the guy who ran Domino's during its famous "Our pizza is bad, sorry" turnaround, as executive chairman. Then they started spending. The plan is called Reclaim the Flame, and it's now worth up to $700 million through the end of 2028. Some went to advertising and digital, which is done. The bigger chunk, up to $550 million, is a program called Royal Reset. Remodels, relocations, new kitchen equipment, new tech. As of March 2026, they'd funded $189 million of it. Then in 2024, they did something franchise companies almost never do. They bought their biggest franchisee, Carroll's Restaurant Group, with hundreds of struggling locations for around $1 billion. Take them in-house, remodel them, then sell them back to better operators. And the remodels genuinely work. Company data shows an average sales uplift of 13.8% after a remodel, with traffic up 12.8%. The target is $230,000 in profit per restaurant by the end of 2026, eventually $300,000. But notice what this actually is. Burger King is paying, with its own money, to fix a system that its own economics broke. That's not growth spending, that's repair. If you're enjoying this, consider subscribing. We do a lot of deep dives into companies quietly falling apart, and it helps more than you'd think. And then, in early 2026, Burger King got lucky. Tom Curtis, president of Burger King US and Canada, a former Domino's franchisee, not a career marketing guy, did something bizarre. He posted his actual work phone number online and told customers to call him. He answered around 1,400 messages, which, if you think about it, is an enormous risk. You're inviting every person who has ever waited 20 minutes for cold fries to text you personally. One of the customers he called back reportedly asked if he was an AI. Then McDonald's CEO Chris Kempczinski posted a video of himself trying the new Big Arch Burger. The internet decided the bite was too small, too stiff, too corporate. It got destroyed. Burger King reposted a clip of Curtis taking an enormous messy bite of the new Whopper, then joking that the only thing missing was a napkin. It went everywhere. According to traffic firm Placer.ai, visits to Burger King restaurants jumped 7.4% year over year that week from a video. In March, they launched a whole campaign built around admitting past mistakes, even retiring the creepy King mascot. And the numbers followed. In the first quarter of 2026, RBI reported system-wide sales up 6.2%. Comparable sales up 3.2% overall, with Burger King US at 5.8% and International at 5.7%. International and Tim Hortons each hit their 20th straight quarter of positive comps. Revenue of $2.26 billion, beating estimates. Adjusted EBITDA up to $706 million. Burger King, the joke brand, is currently beating McDonald's on same-store sales growth. So it's fixed, right? Look at the store count. Burger King still shrank in 2025, 51 fewer USA restaurants than the year before. Better than 264, but still negative. For 2026, the plan is around 39 new franchise locations and one company-owned store. That's not expansion. That's treading water while the weak stores get pruned. Now look at the category. In 2025, USA burger chain sales grew just 1.5%, while food service inflation ran at 3.8%. Adjust for that, and the entire burger segment shrank. Burger King isn't winning a growing market. It's taking share in a stagnant one, mostly from a wounded Wendy's and a McDonald's with a customer traffic problem of its own. And that distinction matters more than it sounds. Winning a shrinking category means your growth depends on someone else's mistakes. The moment McDonald's fixes its value menu or Wendy's finds a strategy that sticks, those points come straight back off Burger King's board. And then there's the market's verdict. RBI's market cap sits around $25 billion. Over the past year, the stock underperformed the US market by a wide margin. While the market returned roughly 25%, QSR went essentially nowhere. Bank of America still rates it underperform. Citi cut its price target in July. The dividend is now eating about 90% of earnings. Long-term liabilities sit above $17 billion. So, sales up, traffic up, franchisee profitability up, stock flat. Sound familiar? It's the same pattern we keep seeing. The business improves, the market doesn't care, because investors aren't asking whether Burger King had a good quarter. They're asking whether Burger King can ever be structurally as good as McDonald's. And the honest answer is probably no. Burger King isn't dying. That's the boring truth. It's not going bankrupt, it's not closing 400 stores next month, and the food is measurably better than it was 3 years ago. But it's not healthy either. It's a chain that had to spend hundreds of millions of dollars to convince its own franchisees to keep the lights on, buy out its biggest operator to stop the bleeding, retire its mascot to apologize for a decade of neglect, and got its best marketing result of the decade from a guy eating a burger correctly. The turnaround is real. It's also rented. Remodels wear off. Viral moments end. Beef stays expensive. And underneath it all, the average Burger King still makes less than half what the McDonald's across the street does. So how bad is Burger King really? Not as bad as the memes. Much worse than the earnings call. If you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe to the channel and like the video. There's a lot more coming.